All right, let's dive right in. We're going to break down a pretty wild story, all based on our source material, that seems to connect a single social media post to billions of dollars in trades that, well, let's just say the timing was incredibly convenient.
And hey, before we get going, if you like what we do here, hitting that like button or subscribing really does help us out a ton. We appreciate it.
I mean, really think about that for a second. Can one post on the internet actually shift that much money? It's kind of crazy, but it's the central question behind everything we're about to unpack. Okay, so here's the scene. The world markets are on edge, totally spooked about a potential war in Iran. Then, out of nowhere, just 15 minutes before 4 p.m., someone places a colossal bet. We're talking $580 million that oil prices are about to drop. And what happens at exactly 4 p.m.? A post from Trump hits Truth Social, calming everyone down. The market instantly flips, and oil prices fall just like the bet predicted. What a coincidence, right? Now, take a look at this chart. According to the source, this is the smoking gun. That little bar on the left, that's your normal average trading volume for oil. And that giant skyscraper on the right, that's the trading volume in that tiny 15-minute window right before the post. It's a massive, glaring anomaly. But the story doesn't stop there. The source material claims this wasn't some isolated lucky guess. The exact same thing was apparently happening in another huge market at the very same time. $1.5 billion. That's how much someone spent on S&P 500 futures. Basically, a huge bet on the entire US stock market. And again, this happened in a single trade just 15 minutes before that same social media post. This bet was so enormous, it actually helped push the whole market up. Okay, so you're probably seeing these insane numbers and wondering, how on earth is that even possible? How can someone make bets that big, that fast? Well, let's break down the mechanics behind it. It all comes down to something called a futures contract. The easiest way to think about it is like you're pre-ordering a hot new product. You agree on a price today to buy it later. In the financial world, it's just a formal way to bet on whether the price of something, like oil or stocks, is going to go up or down.
So it's pretty simple, really. You just have to guess the direction. If you think the price is going up, you go long, you buy. If you think it's headed down, you go short, you sell. In the case we just saw, those traders went short on oil, betting the price would tank, and sure enough, minutes after Trump's post, it did.
But here's the real secret sauce, the thing that turns a big bet into a gigantic one. It's called leverage. You can think of it as a financial superpower. It lets you use just a little bit of your own cash to control a much, much bigger pile of assets. This makes it crystal clear. You could put down, say, $5,000 of your own money, but leverage gives you the power to trade with $50,000. It's a massive amplifier for your profits. Of course, it also amplifies your losses, but if you're very, very confident about which way the market's about to turn, you can see the appeal. Okay. Now let's put a pin in those trades for a second because there's another huge piece to this puzzle, and it starts, believe it or not, with crypto. Back in 2019, Trump made his position very clear with this quote. He was not a fan. To him, it was all just thin air. But then, just a few years later, that tune seemed to change completely. So you gotta ask, what happened? Why the complete 180? Well, according to the source material, the answer might be this company right here, World Liberty Financial. It's a crypto platform allegedly co-founded by Donald Trump and his sons that even has its own custom crypto token. And this is the part that really matters. The source cites public data indicating a Trump family entity owns 60% of the company. That's not just a piece of the pie, that's a controlling stake. And was this little venture profitable? The source alleges they pulled in over $800 million in just the first 6 months of 2025. That is a truly staggering amount of money from an industry he once dismissed. So the source basically lays out this whole transactional system. First, if you're in power, you can push for crypto-friendly rules, which, surprise, could boost the value of the tokens your family owns. Second, you can create meme coins where your company holds most of the supply, so buyers are essentially just sending money your way. And finally, you can offer special access, like dinners and events, to big buyers, which opens up a whole new channel for potential influence. And the scale here just keeps getting bigger. We're talking about World Liberty Financial allegedly being at the center of a $2 billion deal, a deal involving a fund backed by Abu Dhabi and the crypto giant Binance. And when you start looking at the people involved, the web gets even more tangled. According to the source, you have the sons of a U.S. special envoy,
Steve Witkoff, who co-founded the company and cashed out $90 million. And Witkoff himself was reportedly a major investor when Elon Musk took Twitter private. And believe it or not, everything we've just gone over, all these examples, according to the source material, that's just scratching the surface. It claims the real network is much, much bigger. This source details a huge number of people, companies, and even foreign entities who were allegedly given access and favorable treatment, creating what it describes as a system where political actions and financial gains became deeply, deeply intertwined. And taking, as the source alleges, this transactional approach to politics to a whole new level. And all of this brings us to one final really important question. When the lines between public office and private profit get this blurry, as the source alleges they did, you have to ask, who is really being served?